So this is the chassis so far. I haven't done anything for a while, filmed anything because my camera's on bung, but the chassis is pretty well finished now, I think. It's got the floorboards to make, and the top of the engine, got to put new valve seals in the head, and valve guides actually as well. But I think generally it was in fairly good condition. We've done a fair bit of, I've done a fair bit of repair work where it needed it, a bit of welding here or there, but generally fairly happy. Had to make that new exhaust mount bracket there because that was missing. I don't know quite why it was missing, but it was. Anyway, it's coming along, and it's March 27th today, so I started pulling it apart in October. So it's actually pretty good progress, considering it really was mostly a question of taking it to bits, cleaning it up and painting it. I had the chassis sandblasted, which saved a lot of time, but it was a rotten thing to paint. I sprayed everything and it wasn't very easy at all. So this is the next step. These are the floorboards. I think we'll make new ones of these, although I might keep this back piece because it's actually in quite good condition, although it doesn't look up like it there. It's pretty good. Even some of the front ones really are not too bad, and they probably could be kept, but they're slightly bowed, and I think I'll make new ones. These are 3/8 of an inch thick, but I'm going to make new ones out of 1/2 inch exterior grade ply, because I think it'll just give it that little bit extra depth and strength. This is after, I suppose, an afternoon's work, which is quite good, I think. All floorboards finished, drilled, ready to go. They just need to be painted black. That's what they have to be. Originally they were. So I'm just in the process of fitting in the floorboards. These have been coated with a black satin acrylic, 3 coats underneath and 2 coats on the top. Now I know that there's a lot of talk about using various oils and epoxies, and but it seems to me that the original boards that came off didn't have a lot of paint on them. In fact, it looked little more than a dark stain. So what we have here is really quite a nice finish. I did the floorboards on my 1927 Morris Oxford in a black acrylic, which is, an exterior house acrylic paint, water-based paint, 20 years ago, and they're still fine. Now, of course, we have to seal them into the can't really see, but you have to seal them into the channels, and there's been a lot of talk about different types of sealant. I don't think they had any sealant at all when they were new, and when I pulled the old ones out of this car, they were sealed with glazing putty, which had set like rock and was very difficult to move. So I really didn't want to use any silicons or anything like that, but I thought it was a good idea to have some sort of sealant. So what I've come across is this foam rubber, which is used for a door and window sealant here. It's got an adhesive back on it. You just peel off the paper and it sticks beautifully onto the acrylic and the light, okay, and makes quite a nice edge around there just inside of the screw holes, which means it will pull up to nothing, and I should be able to get it off again if I need to. So I think hopefully I think that's actually a pretty good idea. Well, this is a bit of an auspicious occasion because I'm about ready to put the body back on the chassis. It's the 10th of Monday the 10th, yeah, of January 2011, and I'm hoping that within a couple of hours or so we'll have this lifted back on. So it's been a long time coming.
Leighton.
I thought Stephen was
Leighton's going to ruin your video footage with cussing.
Expletives.
Expletives. You have to edit it.
The idea is, I think these will be strong enough if they're edge
Oh,
on.
it's open already.
So if we
Yeah.
hold it close to it.
How heavy is it?
I don't think it's not too bad. So you can,
What are they doing on it?
so
I know when you drove the Morris out,
Here
you
and
pulled
watch.
the Morris out the shed and drove it straight over the vegetable garden. That was quite fun.
these holes
Don't go
here,
under it.
just beside where it goes, these holes here go roughly on that corner.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yay.
You can guide it.
I'll go that side.
Just hold it.
You alright?
You ready?
Obviously you've got to go high enough to clear it.
Up and up. Up.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Leighton, come this way. Hang on. No, hang on. You probably go.
No, you can't. You're in about the right place.
Yeah, we're in the right spot.
Oh, okay, the guy.
Yeah, you're pretty close over here.
Yeah, we got these Tim's
Got
stuck
to go towards you and back, go back up a bit.
Up, you go up. We need to go up. Up. Now back. Up.
How's
Go
food?
down. Go down this. Buddy, you need to come another inch this way.
Which way?
There's a thing. If you want me to hold that. If you want me to hold that.
Olive. Olive.
Yeah, we are.
A bit hard to see in this light, but the car is now starting to come together. I've just got the dashboard in. Had a lot of trouble getting a decent finish on that, but it's not bad at the moment. I'm quite happy with the way it's come up, really. There's a new loom there that I'm in the process of putting in at the moment, and the engine is starting to go back together again as well, so that's sort of all starting to look good. I'm quite pleased with the progress, and it's quite nice to just put some stuff back together, because it's been a long while. It's the 8th of February today. Well, it's mid June, and I've made a little bit of progress on this. The weather hasn't been very good, so I haven't been able to do a lot of painting, but I've rubbed back some of the paint there, which seems to have come up quite well, and the upholstery is done. New carpets. I have to get some edging done on the carpets, which I'll sort out. This is a leather upholstery here, nice black on black leather with red pinstriping. Fuel tank is in. Bit dusty because I haven't really cleaned it. It's all sort of coming together now, and there's not much I can do on the body until I get the weather warms up a little bit. But all the engines pretty well back in. I'm going to put the wipers in today. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased so far.